I'm here with Mr. Blake Chandlee, who's VP and Commercial Director at Facebook. Mr. Chandlee, what are your impressions of Webit?
We're really excited to be at Webit. We think it's a great event. We think that the marketplace is ready for it. It's second year, and we're excited to be part of it.
How do you think social media will evolve?
Well, I think we're in very early stages of development of the, of the social web. I do believe that the concept of social media goes away and that everything becomes social. So if you see what some of the big portals or Google or Microsoft or Yahoo or others are doing, or even other traditional media, they're building social functionality and social capabilities in everything they do. So we think that the socialization of the web is here versus social media, and we're excited about it.
How do you expect the share of social media advertising in the total advertising spending to change?
We're seeing it increase. I mean, we think around innovation in the space is critical and required. We think for the first time brands can actually engage with and connect with users in a relevant and meaningful way, and that's something that brands have wanted to do for years and years and years. And so we're seeing enormous growth from our own business, and we're seeing similar type growth from other players in the market. So we're obviously very excited about it in general.
How do you expect social media advertising to change in qualitative aspect?
I think that as the medium, we basically have built the whole medium based on performance. So I would call it, up until now, we've really been bottom of the funnel. So we've enabled transactions, or what we might call demand fulfillment. We think that the opportunity now exists to move up the funnel and to drive awareness, consideration, demand generation, if you will. And so that's where we really focus a lot of our time and energy, is how do we build products and tools and research capabilities that allow brands to have a high confidence that when they come into this environment, they're actually creating great value for users, and therefore connections and loyalty and return on their investment.
Which you think are the most important emerging trends in the digital advertising?
I think the true movement towards engagement from an advertising perspective is first and foremost something that's going to have a profound impact around the world. We're seeing it in every market around the world. We're starting to see significant players in categories that historically haven't been embraced or haven't embraced the internet, such as FMCG or CPG, the entertainment space, the auto space. They're big players now coming in because they realize that they can engage with and connect with users in a way they haven't been able to before, and on back of that, research. So we think it's really important that as an industry, and we're dedicated to this, that we drive forward actual research that shows the impact that we're having on consumers with the brands. That's a critical component to really driving investments in the medium.
Do you think that social media advertising will overpass search advertising?
I think it's a little bit early to say that. I think that if you look at the trends, we do believe that people are discovering brands and discovering information through their newsfeed, through their social graph and their friends. If that trend continues, then certainly social plays a significant role. Search has done a great job of sitting at the bottom of the funnel and fulfilling demand fulfillment. Right, so you go in, you want to buy, and you buy something. That's a tremendous business model, and some players in that space have done a great job. We think that 90% of the investment still, advertising investment, is still at the top of the funnel, traditional media, and that's where we're focusing a lot of our time and energy, is how do we go after that, and how do we enable brands to connect with users in a way they just have never been able to before.
And my last question, how did the crisis affect digital advertising, and how did it change the market?
I think the crisis affected every advertiser, all forms of advertising. I mean, it had a profound and deep impact on how companies operated, right? And one of the things they did was they reduced marketing spend, because it's an easy one to reduce in times of financial concern. Digital, I think, probably fared better than most other mediums. If you just look at the year-over-year numbers, digital was relatively flat, whereas a lot of our mediums were down significantly. Television, for example, in the UK was down 30%. So I think digital fared pretty well. I think brands are looking for return on investment, and that's a very tangible thing to do in some parts of digital, and so I think that actually benefited the industry. I think coming out of the back end of it, and we're starting to see some early trends that spending's increasing again. I think digital will benefit on the back end of that, probably more so than any other medium.
Thank you very much.
Good. Awesome.